Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai Satcharitra, an Insight, Episode 134. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan Brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnuhu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, we have been listening to the marvelous divine sports of Sri Sai Maharaj in the life of Damu Anna. To recall, in the previous episode, Damu Anna approached Sri Sai Baba to get his consent about investing in the cotton speculation business, which was denied. And future events proved that Sri Sai Maharaj's rejection was indeed a blessing for Damu Anna, as all those invested in cotton business faced heavy losses and Damu Anna was saved from this plight by Sri Sai Baba. Though Damu Anna had a family business of manufacturing and trading in bangles, still he was engaged in other line of businesses to increase his earnings. He was also getting another offer to deal with grain business. As there was greater demand for the grains, Damu Anna thought he can gain good profit if he can trade in the grains. So he decided to approach Sri Sai Maharaj and seek his permission for the same. In response to Damu Anna's query, Sri Sai Baba said, "You might have to buy 5 seeds for a price and sell 7 for the same price, which means that he will have to sell it at a loss as the price of the grain might go down." This reply of Sri Sai was very disappointing to Damu Anna, as he thought he can earn enormous profit by investing in grain business. So he dropped the idea of trading in grains. On the other hand, the broker was impatiently waiting upon Damu Anna. After a few days, Damu Anna wrote to the broker about his visit to Shiradi and his plans to discontinue the dealings. The broker was dejected and felt, what is the need for this person to take a fakir's opinion who has no knowledge of the market conditions? This business would have yielded a greater profit. All those who have invested has already got good returns out of it. Simply relying upon this Damu Anna, I have lost my business too. It is better I find a new person to partner with me rather than this hopeless Damu Anna. At the same time, Damu Anna was pondering in his mind thus, what is happening? Sri Sai told me that grain business will result in loss, whereas all those engaged in it are flourishing well. The prices of the grains are skyrocketing. Will Sri Sai Maharaj's words falsify? He thought. Around mid-October, torrential rains poured heavily and there was good yield of crops. Eventually, the market was flooded with grains, because of which the prices came down and reached the situation that was earlier forecasted by Sri Sai Maharaj. Now, Damu Anna's confidence got reassured. The broker repented for not abiding by the decision of Damu Anna and reprimanding Sri Sai's decision about the grain business. He also had to face the same fate as the other investors, whereas Damu Anna was saved from these losses. Devotees, this reminds me of a couple of leelas transpired by a great saint named Sri Pundi Mahan. Many listeners might have already heard his glory and divine sports. Kanchi Periyava, His Holiness Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swamigal, revered by his devotees, once said, "He is a transmitter, without whose function they would all remain non functional, similar to lifeless bulbs." Many spiritual heads and saintly personalities paid respectful visit to Sri Pundi Swamigal. He was known by many names and was seen wandering in a stuporous state of mind in and around the village Kalasapakam, a small village situated 20 kilometers away from Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu. He was a perfect spiritual master, wandering in the form of an avadut or ascetic. River Cheyyar runs by the side of the village Kalasapakam. Sri Pundi Mahan used to be seen sitting on the hot sands of river bed unmoved for weeks and days. Once, when Sri Pundi Swamigal was resting by the side of the river bed, sudden gashing rain caused flood in the river, thus raising the water level considerably, submerging Swamigal resting on the river bed. In flood, the water level of rivers raised rapidly only to return to normalcy after few hours or even few days. When the rain stops, people got panicked and thought that Pundi Swamigal must have been washed away in the flood. Alas, when the flood receded, they found the body of Swamigal fully buried under the sand, while only his head was showing above. Thinking he was no more alive, people rushed to him and managed to pull him out. Lo, they were shocked when he casually got up and walked away as if nothing had happened. This was the turning point for the villagers, and they began to believe that the Swamigal was not an ordinary person but a great Mahapurush. From then on, he was called by the people as Atra Swamigal. Swamiji finally settled on the pyal of a house and stayed there until his Mahasamadhi. The word pyal means Thinnai in Tamil. Hence, he was known as Thinnai Swamigal. Once commenting on Sri Pundi Swamigal, Revered Sri Jnanananda Giri Swamigal stated that he was the greatest amongst all other spiritual masters present. In fact, many miracles of Sri Pundi Swamigal were similar to the divine sports played by Sri Sainath Maharaj. There are more than 30 to 40 to list. If anyone would read the devotees' experience of Sri Pundi Swamigal, they would get stunned to see the connections with the devotees' experience of Sri Sainath Maharaj. This actually divulges the thought that all saints work in unison. Now, I would like to share a couple of Sri Pundi Mahan's miracles, as that is similar to the one experienced by Damu Anna. First, let us listen to the experience of a devotee of Sri Pundi Mahan by named Tyagarajan as narrated by him. Once a person by named Murugaya, a close acquaintance of Tyagarajan and the then member of Parliament of Tiruvannamalai, approached him and said that I have a plan to establish a sugar mill under the name Kandasari Sugar Mill. He invited me to join as a partner and demanded a sum of rupees 25,000 towards my share. I arranged the money and went to have the darshan of Sri Pundi Swamigal to seek his blessings. Swamigal was lying on the pyal. Sri Subramanya Swami, ardent devotee and attendant of Swamigal, was also lying below the pyal. I used to call him uncle and requested him to wake up Sri Pundi Swamigal, and he complied with my request. He woke up Sri Pundi Swamigal, applied sacred ashes and put vermilion on his body, and then informed that I had come to meet him. Sri Pundi Mahan replied, "Good, I know." After paying my respect and offering worship, I told Swamiji I have been asked to deposit an amount of rupees 25,000 as my share in the Kandasari sugar mill proposed to be opened. Shall I invest and join in the venture? Sri Pondi Swamigal's reply was simple. That is not meant for us, dear. I went back home and returned the money to my mother and informed her that Sri Swamigal did not permit me to join the project. Anyway, the sugar mill was started as planned by Murugaya, but the owners of the sugar mill could not carry on the business even for a year as the mill incurred heavy loss. Sri Pondi Swamigal thus saved me from the embarrassment of losing money in the business. The timely advice of Sri Swamigal preventing me from incurring loss in business got deeply drawn in my mind, says Tyagarajan, an ardent devotee of Sri Pondi Mahan. Isn't this similar to Damu Anna's experience? Here, I have another experience shared by a fervent devotee of Sri Pundi Mahan by named Radha Krishnan. He was a farmer by profession and was struggling hard to make his ends meet. He thought of trying some other business to earn money for his livelihood. One of his friends suggested him to join as a partner to do granite business and asked him to invest some money. Radha Krishnan decided to seek the blessings of Sri Pundi Mahan as his grace would make them succeed in their business endeavors. He went to Sri Pundi Mahan and just began to discuss on this business offer. At once Swamiji said, "Good, my lad, we have farming lands. Why do we need to involve in these business affairs? We don't need all those. You are unnecessarily deviating from your line of business. That's not meant for us." As soon as Sri Pundi Mahan revealed his opinion about this business, Radha Krishnan dropped his idea of investing in the granite business. It is implied that even this granite business ended in a loss. Such is the greatness of the perfect masters. They would never let their devotees to stumble in their life and always protect them and provide the necessary guidance to overcome the challenges of life. As per the scriptures, there are two aspects of life. One is good and the other one is the pleasant. Both come to a man, and the wise mind will analyze, try to distinguish between the two and pick the good from the pleasant. But the dull soul chooses the pleasant rather than taking the good. Whereas the perfect masters would not give what we desire but provide what is good for us. If what we desire will do good to us, then they would grant our wish. This is the greatness of the divine incarnations. Thus, Sri Sainath Maharaj disapproved the wish of Damu Anna as that would result in a great monetary loss to him. Damu Anna marveled at the omniscience of Sri Sai Baba and remained a staunch devotee thereafter. His first son, Nana Sahib Rasane, alias Dattatreya Damodar Rasane, also became a fervent devotee of Sri Sainath Maharaj. Many miracles were experienced by Nana Sahib Rasane, and we will be listening to those incredible leelas soon. Damu Anna was initially residing in Ahmednagar district. Later, they moved to Pune and lived in a place known as Ravivarpet. This became Damu Anna's residence, and in this house there is an original portrait of Sri Sai Maharaj in which Baba would be seated with his left leg folded and right leg slightly crisscrossed on his left leg, while the right hand will be placed on the knee of the right leg and his right hand supporting his right cheeks, touching the ears. This is a unique posture of Sri Sai Maharaj and is said to be one of the meditative postures, which also symbolizes that Sri Sai Baba is seated there ever ready to listen to all our problems and pleadings and grant his benedictions accordingly. This remarkable portrait of Sadguru Sri Sai Maharaj is a great treasure for all the Sai devotees and can be found in Damu Anna's residence even today. Devotees, we marveled at the miracle of Sri Sai in granting progeny to Damu Anna by giving him 8 mangoes, whereas out of the 8, 4 were taken by the pet kids of Sri Sai and the remaining 4 reached the hands of Damu Anna. As a matter of fact, 8 kids were born to Damu Anna and 4 of them died as babies. Remaining 4 survived and led a very prosperous and long life. Also, we listen to the story of Nandaram Sanklache, who also enjoyed the boon of having 3 children by receiving 3 mangoes from Sri Sai Maharaj. In this connection, we also heeded to the story of Gokarna quoted by Pujya Sri Narasimha Swamiji as narrated in the Bhagavatam. This story underscores the fact that all those who were born by the boon of mangoes have transformed to the great souls. The story of Damu Anna is also coinciding with this truth, as his eldest son Nana Sahib Rasane became one of the most ardent devotees of Sri Sai Maharaj and spent major portion of his life in propagating the teachings of Sri Sai Baba. We shall listen to few divine experiences bestowed by Sri Sai Baba upon him. Sri Sai christened him as Daulat Shah. In addition to that, Damu Anna gave his son another name that was Dattatreya. So, all the official records carry the name Dattatreya. Hence, he was known as Dattatreya Damodar Rasane. This name has a deeper connotation which we have already discussed in the earlier episodes. It is inevitable for all the devotees to listen to the great services performed by Sri Dattatreya Damodar Rasane to Sadguru Sri Sainath Maharaj and also the blessings bestowed by the Guru upon his Ankita. We shall listen to those mind-boggling leelas in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.